They told me about you, you know.
What did they say?
You were different.
We're talking about trees. What tree would you be? Were you just asked that?
I said a sugar maple.
A sugar maple.
And how's a sycamore?
What is this movie, first of all, wonderful. So I loved it, but nature is like a character in this film. So what is your kind of relationship to nature? And then did you get to do anything like kind of on your own while filming this movie?
I didn't. I was there in and out, but I I grew up in a small town. My dad built our house and we camped out for the entire time he was doing it. I was in the Boy Scouts, I was in the Explorer Scouts and the Order of the Arrow, canoeing and stuff like that. And I live in the country to this day. And I'm a woodworker and I plant trees. I plant lots of trees.
Like a Ron Swanson.
Yes.
When things go bad, I'm coming to your house.
There you go.
Well, he's got gin, too.
I also have a distillery, so...
Oh, okay.
So then everyone's going to be coming to
Then
your
I'm really
house.
coming to your house.
I got all the basics covered.
Yeah, you could use it for medicine, too.
That's right.
I grew up in the countryside, in nature, and I was, from a very young age, my father was very, made us aware of nature and animals and cruelty to animals, and we were just very aware of nature, and and it was kind of we were made to understand it. It wasn't like it was ignorance if you don't know what that tree is, sort of thing. And so I'm really grateful now that I have that. Looking back, I thought everyone kind of had it, but now I see it was so unique to kind of know those things.
Special, yeah. I like the idea that, you mentioned coming in and out. Like, these characters can interact and have a lasting impact. So I'm curious, because you were in and out, what lasting impact did making this film have on you?
Well, we've been doing a lot of press for it and people like it, so that makes me feel good. I loved it when I read it. I loved it when I saw the first cut of it. I'm really proud to be in it. And I think it's getting over. It really strikes a chord with people, and that, what a joy that is. It doesn't happen that much in a career where you come in, you do a film that sparks the national imagination.
Do you often know while you're making it, or is it like you're like, oh, this is something special, there's gonna be buzz? I'm sure the opposite has happened too.
I flatter myself that I'm good at reading scripts. So there's sometimes, and this one I said, this is gonna be huge. I told Felicity that, my wife Felicity. I said, this is gonna be huge, it's beautiful. I knew Fargo was gonna be big. I knew Shameless was gonna be big.
Interesting.
I mean, one can never know. I've also done some scripts that got bollocksed up in the process and they weren't very good.
Lose their way, kind of. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But then you learn a lot on those projects, more than you do on a great project. I don't know. No, I never know. And nor do I think it's my job to think beyond it. My job is just making it. And then the minute that's over, I'm gone. Like, what happens after that is sort of not really having to do with me almost.
Right.
I mean, bar this, but even at that, I just forget it. I have to, and then I have to kind of clear the slate for the next job that comes in. So, but you hope it's every job. You hope,
Yeah.
Because everyone worked really hard on it.
I think that Elizabeth Gilbert said, it's our job to make the film, but how people react to it is not within our purview. So in a weird way, we got to make the film, which is great, and now this is a whole different trip.
Exactly.
People are digging it.
How you doing?
I'm great, how are you?
Oh my gosh, what a beautiful film.
Thank you.
And obviously this is coming from a novella that is quite short. So I'm curious when let me just back up of when the novella came to you. When did you read it for the first time and what hooked you about it?
The first time I read it was when it came out, like 2014 or something. I need to actually look this up, what year it was. But whatever year it came out, I read it then, and it really struck me, and it started a lifelong love of Dennis Johnson and his writing. But I didn't think about it as a movie until it came back around after I'd made Jockey. Then some producers had the rights to the book and reached out. And when I read it again, I was just struck by, I don't know, even though it's only 117 pages and like you said, it's very short, it had a whole life in it and it felt so expansive and it covered so much time and it was so poetic and strange and I don't know, yeah, there's so much that struck me about it.
What were the I guess key points of okay, I do want to adapt this. It is quite short. So what were the
Yeah.
biggest challenges in just kind of expanding it into what it became?
The harder thing was like trying to fit it all in, because you've got like, you don't want to make a film that can't go deep because it's going so broad, right? And if it's covering 85 years or whatever in a guy's life, you don't want it to feel like just a Wikipedia entry of like this happened and then that happened and blah blah blah. And so really it was easy to expand upon. The harder thing with that book, it's got so many good little gems in it, sometimes that are just like a sentence long, and yet they're so evocative. And really the difficult thing was trying to fit as many as I could in there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Was there anything that was just like difficult to kind of let go of or have to cut?
Yes. I think the hard one is like Clint Collins Jr., who starred in Jockey, is early in the film, and he's a boomer who's a different type of boomer. But he's a guy called a boomer who's dying, and he gets a drink of water from his own
He's
boot.
a boomer?
No. Like the character is called a boomer in the book.
Yeah.
And it was a long scene. It was like a 10-minute long scene that was this beautiful monologue from Clifton, and I just couldn't make it work anywhere in the film, in the edit, and that unfortunately had to go, but he did such a beautiful job with it.
I will say Felicity and Joel together really warms my Star Wars loving heart.
Yeah.
I was like, Jen and
I always forget about that.
Uncle
but
Owen together.
As it should have been.
So when you were looking for these characters, I mean, what were you looking for in those two specifically?
I think just like looking with Joel and Grenier, like looking for somebody who could be this sweet man who could do so much with so little, and could do more with just like a look than 10 lines of dialogue, you know? And that's Joel. He's so he's got such a deep reservoir of feeling and talent. And then with Gladys, trying to find somebody who was like strong, also had all these paradoxes to her. It was like strong and tough, and that you could believe could like run a farm on her own out in the middle of nowhere in Idaho in the early 1900s, but also very sweet and tender, and just all of these different aspects. And she is such, I think, a phenomenal like enigma of an actor, where I feel like she can do anything, and she just steps on and you immediately know that character somehow, you know?
Right. I mean, right off the bat, the film opens with this kind of beautiful montage. There's so many interesting shots in this film. I'm curious which one you are maybe most proud of, or just like a story of the most challenging one to pull off that you're like, we got it.
There's so many. I think like the lovely thing is like that Adolfo Veloso, our cinematographer, is just so brilliant and can turn like and can like make a painting out of almost anything we shot with, you know, all natural light almost, except for 2 scenes. There's one at the end that like, without spoiling it, what his cabin turns into late in his life with some plants. I'm particularly like in love with that shot and proud of it.
Yes, I love that. What did working on Train Dreams teach you about the types of films you want to make next?
It's a great question that I'm still trying to figure out, probably. But like, there's a like I really enjoyed. It was very difficult, but the challenges were also the joys of it. Of like, there's an openness of it. It's not plot driven in the same way. Like it's a story that just kind of can flow along, and it has an opportunity as a film to like mix all of these mediums, you know, and all these different story types, where it's got a love story, and there's a cowboy scene in the middle of the movie, and there's dream sequences, and I loved having a playground to like do all of those things in service of a story ultimately, where it didn't just feel like random, and that I hope to find again.
Beautiful, ain't it?
What is?
All of it.